We go back again. We start off by giving the definition of what fasting is, and that is to stop doing an activity. In regards to the definition of what fasting in Islam, let's have first of all a little backdrop about what fasting as an act of worship came about. Fasting in Islam, by definition, is to refrain, and that is again the linguistical side of it, to stop doing what? Stop eating and drinking and intimacy for a period of time. That period of time is from dawn, not sunrise, dawn. Be very specific, pay attention to the definition. The time starts from dawn, the break of dawn, all the way until sunset. So how many of conditions so far? Eating, drinking, intimacy, and time from dawn to sunset. Those are 4, correct? The 5th is the intention. What are you doing that for? For the sake of, for the intention of worshiping Allah. And that's what makes it very specific in its definition. This practice as an act of worship, of course, it does have so many benefits. Like anything else, as an act of worship, it definitely has tons of benefits for whoever does it. It started off originally in Islam with the Prophet ﷺ fasting Ashura and made the Sahaba fast the day of Ashura, which is the 10th day of the Muharram. This is initially what was mandatory to fast. So gradually, Ramadan didn't come about all at once, but rather the very first mandatory fasting in Islam, with how it is defined and how we define it now, it started off only with 1 day a year that is mandatory. The rest is voluntary. And that is the day of Ashura. Up until the 2nd year in the Hijrah, when the Prophet ﷺ moved to Medina. And then 2 years into Medina, that's when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala legislated fasting the month of Ramadan as we know it. And that was in the 2nd year, meaning you have 13 years in Mecca, there is no Ramadan. It wasn't until the 2nd year in Medina that Ramadan started. And the Prophet ﷺ said, whoever wants now, from this point out, anybody who wants to fast Ashura, it's up to him. It's an opportunity, and it is a voluntary thing. Recommended, yeah, voluntary. You don't have to now. But what you have to do now is to fast Ramadan instead. The fasting of the month of Ramadan, of course, comes with a little bit of, this is the subject of fasting. So you have things that are related to the month of Ramadan, things that are related to the person who is fasting, and then also the aspects that are related to the fast in of itself. So pay attention now. You have a map, as we say. We're trying to create a map in our understanding. The things that are related. We're talking again about the fiqh. Issues related to Ramadan. Issues related to the person who is fasting, doing the act of worship of fasting. And then you have the issue related to the fasting in of itself. What makes the fasting rather valid or not valid? What makes the person have to fast or not fast, and when and how the person should fast? All of these intricacies, but you have 3 different stops. You have Ramadan, you have the person, and you have the actual act of worship. Let's start with Ramadan. Ramadan, when does it become mandatory for us to fast the month of Ramadan? Question. When it starts. We cannot fast Ramadan in a different month. You can't fast Ramadan, for, let's say, in the middle of any other month. It has to be when the month starts. The question comes to follow, how does the month of Ramadan, like any other month, start? How do we know that this month started? Very good. Now this is where I want you to, all of the information you have, I want you to pinpoint to creating a map. Two things, remember, two things. So we're very clear, inshallah ta'ala, as we walk away. Two things that will decide for us that the month of Ramadan, like any other month, starts. One is either Sha'ban, the month prior, completes 30 days, or the crescent moon is sighted. Two things again. It's either by sighting the moon or by completing 30 days for the month of Sha'ban. And this way you will start the month of Ramadan. Now, sighting the moon. Now, of course, if it is 30 days, we don't even have any questions automatically, because the Prophet ﷺ said when it comes to the number of days in our lunar